Before we unlock this episode, I have to talk to you about the pleasure pods. If you know me, you know that I love teaching about slow sex and I love teaching about taking time to really feel each other's bodies. The pleasure pods is such a great product for that. Not only can you take these gorgeous little pods and melt them in the microwave to make it a massage oil, and you can massage your partner with that. You can also transition that safely into genital play, so this can be a lubricant. And then also, because it's food grade safe, you don't have to do any cleanup or transition of product if you are kind of down for some oral play. And not to mention, if you're going through perimenopause or menopause and those 15 years of maybe some vaginal dryness, the moisture that you're going to get from the pleasure pods is just above and beyond anything that you're ever going to experience. All we do is we crack this into little tiny pieces, insert when we feel like we need a little extra moisture and a little extra love down there, and go about your day. This is such an amazing all-in-one product. You have to try them out for yourself. You can find these now at Pure Pharmacy in British Columbia, at thepleasurepods.com, or Amazon Canada. Welcome to the Intimacy Unlocked podcast. I'm Serena Haines, your everything to do with sex coach, and I'm here to answer all of your juiciest sex questions. Hello, lovers, and welcome back to Intimacy Unlocked. I'm Serena Haines, your everything to do with sex coach, and this is our last episode of season 1. I can't even believe that I did a full season of a podcast. Thank you, Sarah. Oh my God, Sarah, our amazing podcast producer extraordinaire.
Thank you, Serena.
Girl.
You've been so phenomenal on these 10 episodes.
Amazing. I can't even believe that we've got 10 episodes under our belt already.
It feels longer, but also short. Like, I can't even describe it.
I know.
It feels like we've been doing it forever, but also just yesterday.
Right. Exactly. And then not only is it like 10 full episodes, but it's all those just the tip episodes, like every other week with our mini episodes as well. Like, we've done a lot of work. Like, we've talked about a lot of stuff.
A lot.
I'm so excited.
And 10 is a good number to round it out. And we're doing something special for this.
Yes. So
season finale.
Yeah, hopefully we had such a good time. So listen, everyone, at the Atlantic Sex Show on June 14th and 15th. On the 15th, Sarah and I did a live, or will be doing a live recording of Intimacy Unlocked on the stage. We're taking everybody's questions from the audience from the whole weekend. Hopefully we get some really, really juicy ones because it's a sex show after all. And we're going to get up there on stage, and barring no like major disasters, you're going to have the most amazing episode that you're about to listen to.
That's right. Hello, lovers. This is producer Sarah here, popping on to let you know that we did have a small disaster recording the audio for this live podcast. We did have some technical difficulties capturing the audio from the microphones themselves. So audio that you're hearing from this live recording is definitely not the best. This is edited from my camera audio. So it does not sound the best, but we figured better for you to have an episode than not. Regardless, Serena and I had a great time, and I think you'll still enjoy the episode. Now back to it. Because it's going to be spontaneous. You're going to be in your element, which is on stage speaking.
I love it. But you know what? The spontaneity of it all makes me giddy. Some people get really nervous about like answering things on the cuff. There's nothing. I mean, I've just said last week, I just told you, I really love having my mind changed on things. There's nothing I love more than being proven wrong. Like, if I stand up there and I say something like asinine and somebody's like, nope, you're wrong. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Cool. That's awesome. Like, thank you for letting me know that. I love that. So answering everybody's questions off the cuff. So be kind. Well, I hope everybody was kind. We'll never know. Like, this episode, you could hear me crying. You don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen.
And just as a producer heads up, everybody, this is going to be a live recording. So you're going to hear the crowd. It's going to sound different than what we're experiencing here. Yeah. But we'll make it as good as possible for you as the listener who maybe you were there, maybe you weren't. But the episode will make it feel like you were there.
Yes, I hope so. And also, the timing of our season is perfect. So on August 9th, I will be doing a TEDx talk with TEDx Argyle. I'm so excited. This was like my goalpost when I first started doing what I was doing. I just wanted to share all of the knowledge and all of the love that I had for pleasure. And I get to be on that stage. And that just means the world to me. So from now until then, there's going to be, writing and practicing and doing all kinds of really fun things and getting ready for that. So follow along on my Instagram, Serena_Haines. We're going to do a little bit of lead up to that. It's going to be, so much fun to have that conversation. And if you're around on August 9th, grab your tickets at TEDx Argyle and come on in. We're going to have a video recording of all of that at the end, but it just doesn't get released right away. So I think you should be in the audience. I think that would be so much more fun. And everybody can bring signs that say, hello, lovers. I think that would be so fun. Do it, okay?
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Now I'm just like, everybody come and support me.
But you I'm speaking as Serena's producer, you should, because this is a big deal. You're going to rock it.
I'm so excited.
We all heard the monologue a few episodes ago. Like you're made for this.
It gives my heart so much joy to get up on front of a stage. Like people, it's such a crazy thing, you guys. Like there's nothing, I love sitting here and talking to you guys one-on-one, but Jesus, put me in front of like 10,000 people and I'm just the calmest I could ever be. It's such a strange thing. So I'm such an introvert at heart, really.
So many performers have that same feeling.
Yeah.
They feel at home on stage.
Well, this is it because it is the thing that I love the most, right? Like when you do the thing that you love the most and you have the most passion, you'll never work a day in your life. And this is the thing, like when I'm not doing this, I don't feel like myself. Like this is where I get the most joy in my life. Yeah, it's crazy. It's such a beautiful, beautiful space to be.
So come to her TED Talk and you can now say, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh my God. Fuck, I can't wait. Okay. Also, to wrap up, we just want to say thank you so much to our best and biggest supporters, the Pleasure Pods. I've been working with the Pleasure Pods now for a couple of years and they've always been there and had my back on everything that I do. Every event that you come to, every workshop that you come to, every time you're in my office, you're going to leave with a Pleasure Pod. So if you're coming to the shows, rest assured that that's going to be in your pockets for as long as the Pleasure Pods are supporting. So thank you so much to Brian and Deb for all of your hard work as well. We really appreciate you. So I just want to say again, thank you to Sarah for all the hard work that you've done for this season. I'm so grateful to be here and I can't wait for season 2. So we have talked quite a bit about how much you guys can listen to my voice and maybe how much more information we would get if we had other people's voices. So we really would love to get some guests on for season 2. And I think that would be so fun, from experts to friends to just somebody who wants to come on and talk about their crazy fucking slut era. Bring it on. Like we just want to have you in here and have these chats. Whether you can come in, whether it's virtual, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to create a beautiful little Google form. It's going to be a submission form. You can fill that out. It's going to be on my Instagram and on my website. My Instagram is Serena_Haines, or go to serenahaines.com and find the submission form for the podcast for Intimacy Unlocked. Just your name, maybe a topic that you want to talk about. And we're going to dive into some times that maybe we can come in and record. How fun would season 2 be if we had like all these guests come on that like wanted to stay anonymous and tell us all of their dirty little secrets?
That's a format that I'm jazzed about.
I would love it. Will you just come in and tell me all your dirty little secrets?
But to have that live back and forth too, of like what it's like to like work with a sex coach.
I know. Okay. So we're going to have so much fun. So season 2 is coming up. I hope you guys had a really great time listening to us banter and talk and share all the sexy things. All I want to do with this podcast is break the taboo, break the shame, break the stigma, give you permission to say some of the bad words, give you permission to say some of the things that you've been like kind of keeping to yourself. Talk about your fantasies. Just do everything and anything. There is nothing off limits with Intimacy Unlocked. And I really appreciate everybody's submissions so far with your questions, your voicemails, everybody's reviews on the podcast. You know, go into Apple, give us a review. Only a 5-star one though. And
she's right.
And you can see us on YouTube. So you can watch season 1 over and over and over again. If you'd like, we would love that. So thank you so much. We love you guys and we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Rolling together. Yay!
That's a wrap, everybody. We did it.
small but mighty crowd tonight. If you guys are coming. So, welcome to Just the Tip Live. And I am Serena's co-host, Sarah. I am also co-producer. So, this is a live podcast recording, guys. Are you guys okay with being recorded on a podcast? Yeah. You need your consent and your enthusiastic consent that you're going to be on a podcast. You cool with that? Wonderful. Now, we are recording audio and also video, so you don't have to worry too much with the video, so it's just going to be recording us. But if you are one of the brave people that come up on stage, you will be recorded, so just know that. So who's been to one of Serena's events before? Anyone? Yeah! A workshop? Any of your workshops this weekend? Amazing. So tonight we're going to do a live podcast. We're going to answer your questions. You've been collecting them over the weekend, but you still have a chance to get some in. So there's cards on your seat, and there's a QR code on there. So if you scan that code, you're going to be sent to a form where you can write in your questions anonymously. So if you want to do it that way, that's the way you can do it tonight and get your question in. And we're also going to be taking live questions as well. So if you do want to be brave and get on the mic and be on the podcast, we are doing that too. So we'll check in with you throughout the night and get your questions. So be thinking about what you really want to know, because Serena Haines is an impressive person. So are you ready to hear all about her? So Serena is a certified sexologist. She is a sex and intimacy coach, a somatic sex educator. She has certificates in relational counseling from the Gottman Institute and under Dr. Marty Klein. And guys, she is soon to be a TEDx speaker here in Halifax with TEDx Argyle. So please make some noise for the woman of the hour, Serena Haines.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. No pressure, Sarah. Jesus Christ.
Well, you're a big deal.
I love that. Hi, everyone. I'm Serena Haines, your everything to do with sex coach. I can do it all, and sometimes I do. But tonight we're going to answer all of your juiciest sex questions. So, Sarah and I usually sit on a sofa together. We go through these questions. We have so much fun. And then guess what we get to do? Stop, edit, re-record, go back. So doing it live is always thrilling, and it's always really fun. So like Sarah said, over the weekend, now we've had these QR codes out, so we have gathered some questions that we're going to ask today. But I'd really love it if somebody wanted to maybe put their hand up, call it out from the side, whatever that is, and we're going to really get into it. So we're not going to waste too much time since we have 45 minutes. I'm quite the talker, and we usually go for like an hour and a half. And if you have been to one of my workshops, you know just how off kilter I can go if you give me my
I know your ums and ahs like no one else.
I don't know. Anyways.
Okay.
So let's get into it. So seriously, right away, this is all we're going to do. Sarah's going to ask me the questions. I'm going to answer them. And you're going to get a feel for what you can hear on Intimacy Unlocked. And if you don't follow, pull up where you follow your podcasts. Pull up Intimacy Unlocked in Apple and Spotify and give us a listen.
Apple, Spotify, any podcast app that you use. It would be great if we could get some new subscribers. We have a new season coming in a couple months.
This is our season finale.
This is the season finale.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Serena, you ready to get right into it?
We're literally getting into it right now. This is it. Let's go.
Okay. So here's the first question.
All right.
This is from presumably a listener, hopefully, or maybe someone who attended one of your events, or someone here tonight. You don't know.
We don't know. We don't know that.
Okay, here's the question. I just read an article that used a term I never heard before. Starfish. My favorite. Which is wild, because that's my favorite term. This describes my partner so well. I do all the work. They might initiate sometimes, but I'm expected to put in the effort. My partner just lays there. It's fun usually. Sometimes I want to lay back and receive, or even better, have things play back and forth together. I guess I am fine with my partner being a starfish most of the time, but it's not the only kind of sex I want to have. How do we change this? When I bring it up, they say they love sex with me as is.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else out here identified as a starfish? No.
The starfish?
Sometimes.
Wow. No, sometimes not. Is power starfish a thing? Can you be a power starfish?
Power starfish?
That's what I want.
I love that.
Okay.
Starfish. Just not here. Just pretend. Starfish from the bottom. Anyways. So I guess I'm assuming what this person's talking about, because we can tell, is like sometimes you have partners who really kind of just starfish. They just lie there and they want the things done to them. So we're going to work backwards in this question, because the question actually is, I would really like to have a different kind of sex. How do I get my partner on board with that? But they say that they really like this sex. So the thing is, you're going to have the conversation that it's not just about their pleasure, and that maybe you're feeling a little bit of sadness in you. Maybe you are not feeling desired. All we want in our partnerships, the bottom line, is that we want to feel desired by our partners and desirable. So if you have a partner that's not participating back and forth, even if they give you reassurance that it feels good and that everything is great and this is the way I like it, you also get to advocate for what you need in that moment as well. On that note though, and I talked about this earlier in my workshop, is that there are going to be some partners that we have who experience the peak amount of pleasure they can by being present in their body and in the moment. So what we visualize, what we see as, let's say, quote, lazy or starfish behavior might be your partner actually in their bodies in that moment with their eyes closed, really feeling all of the sensations that you're giving, and they're so happy, they're so content. But then it's not being reciprocated for you. So it might have to be one of those nights maybe where you go, okay, listen, Tuesdays can be starfish night, but Thursdays we have to do something for me. So we have to talk about it. We can go and do it back and forth. That way, in the evening, that erotic encounter specifically, maybe that is about just that one person, but then the next time it's going to be about the other person. You need to tell them what you want. You can't assume that they already know. Even if you've said, let's say, I want more lively sex. Okay, but what does that look like? Because they might not even have any knowledge. Right? I mean, I'm sure that there are some things and places and workshops that you guys have gone to during this weekend where you've learned something. So sometimes when we don't have the knowledge in our head, it actually creates this sense of fear in our bodies to be curious. So we're afraid to admit that maybe we don't know how to do something, maybe we don't think we're good at something, maybe an ex-partner told us they didn't like it that way or we did something wrong, and all of a sudden we freeze and we think, well, the safest place for me to be is as the receiver because I know my partner can just do whatever they want. But the opposite is actually happening when your partner is feeling and left out. So I hope that helps. All right, let's go.
I also love the idea of putting starfish night on a calendar.
Starfish, like a little sticker on it.
Oh, those starfish stickers.
Little starfish sticker.
Oh, I love that. So it's a Google Calendar. Okay.
Google.
You are invited to starfish night.
And I'm a mama. I'm just picturing my big fridge calendar with fucking starfish on it. Okay. And a big, eggplants on the other one.
Starfish Saturdays.
For my partner.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay. This is about anal play, this next question.
Love it, anal play.
Did anyone go to Serena's anal workshop this weekend? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this question, how to be safe and considerate to the receiver if they have hemorrhoids? Is there any precautions to take? And then they just quoted this phrase, if it doesn't have a flare or a base, it doesn't go up there.
Right, yeah, we talked a lot about that. You can't poop out your anal toys, guys. Doesn't work that way. Always have a base on your butt always, okay? I do have a little bag of goodies over there I kind of forgot to bring up, so we'll do that in a minute. And so the anal play with hemorrhoids. This question came up to me after the workshop yesterday, so I'm glad that it came in. It was a really important point to talk about, because we were talking about how anal play actually shouldn't hurt. Okay, there's a difference between an uncomfortable pressure, something different, something curious, a sensation we're not used to, and we have to maybe work through, and pain. Okay, so it really shouldn't hurt, and if it does, there are ways to kind of mitigate that, talk to your partner, and have those conversations. So if you're interested in that, come to my next All About Anal workshop. But when it comes to hemorrhoids, here's the thing. If there are hemorrhoids that are actively flared, my suggestion, a little bit of, specifics, a little bit of opinion, ask your partner. Some people will say stay away completely because they could rupture, they could tear, they could bleed, there's fecal matter. You don't want to get anything infected down there. You may have a partner, though, whose hemorrhoids are so active in their life that they have found ways to play around them. So it's a conversation you're going to want to have with your partner. Lots and lots and lots of lube. How much lube? Lots and lots and lots of lube. Bottles and bubbles if you must. Okay? You can never use too much lube for anal. You never use too much lube anywhere, I don't think, if we're slipping the slide, and I think that's the best. But for anal specifically, internally and externally. Okay? Make sure you're talking to your partner. If they're not flared, some people who have hemorrhoids are going to have some skin tags and some skin on the outside, and some people are going to have little polyps and stuff on the inside. And they're not going to be inflamed all the time. But ask your partner as you go along, how do you feel about that? How do they feel? Can I touch them now? And if you are the partner with hemorrhoids, I just want you to know that as much as it's a spot with us that we feel really, I don't know, some kind of shame, right? We don't feel like maybe we're, quote, conventionally pretty down there. I like to share really personal information. Anybody who came to my workshops know that I shared all the information about all the things that I love this weekend. And I had hemorrhoids after I had my 3 children. And my asshole doesn't look like a tight little asshole. My asshole looks like a beautiful blooming flower. So now you can all go home with that visual. And you're welcome. You're welcome. That's the evening. Good night.
What kind of flower? What kind of flower?
Blooming lotus, of course. What do you mean? It grew out of the mud. Gross. Okay, we're going too far. Too far. Moving on. But just ask your partner how they feel. Let them in, it's okay. If you are going, I had a partner once. I was feeling really self-conscious about my body, and when my partner, this is why I use this flower story, is that when my partner was going down on me and noticed that that was my body, they made a really big point of telling me how amazing my ass felt that night. They didn't have to say anything specific. They were like, it looks like a little blooming flower and it feels so nice on my tongue, was specifically what they said. And I was like, nobody's ever talked so pretty about my asshole before. Thank you. And it just settled me into owning that and being like, you know what? I'm not the only one, and this partner's not the only partner out there. As long as we're both on board, then that's an okay day. I hope that helps.
We live such different lives. No one's even seen my asshole yet.
Girl.
Yet. There's still
There's always time.
Oh, yes. So on the topic of, I think this next one goes nicely with what you just said about lube. So this is about anal fisting, everybody. Happy Sunday night. Let's go.
If she wasn't uncomfortable now, do you know what I love about Sarah being my podcast producer is that we really are the polar opposite of one another. She reads out questions sometimes and she's like, Jesus, do I have to say this out loud?
You can see blushing, but I'm blushing a lot.
So happy.
I love it. Okay, so is anal fisting done with lots of water-based lube and very slowly dangerous to the recipient? Is there a certain depth of anal penetration that is not advisable to go beyond?
Would you believe me if I said condom no? What? Okay, so I'm also a nerd, And I love the body and I love physiology. I used to be a paramedic as well. So there's a lot of things that I bring into explaining things. Anal fisting, let's do this first. Anal fisting is what it sounds like, and it's when eventually, not on day one, eventually, you're able to get a hand, a fist, a cupped little duck, all the way in through the anus, into the rectal cavity, and it plays around in there, and does whatever you want it to do. It goes in circles, it comes in and out, it's up to you. I want to touch on the fact that this person said a lot of water-based lube, and if that's your preference, that's great. Love that. Lube is so important. I would suggest maybe a silicone lube so it doesn't absorb into your skin. It's just going to keep the friction away a little bit more. And I think that's, if you're able to, right? There are some people out there that listen, well, I can't use silicone, I can only use water-based, fine. Just be aware that that's going to dry out. So if you can have a water-based lube on the inside of your rectum, that's going to absorb into your body. So if you have something in there, Sarah, would you maybe just grab that little goodie bag for me and bring it over here onto my stool?
Sarah's quiet here.
I'm not working to your boy on the inside. Okay. That's why I love my job so much. So if we have, let's just say we're starting out with an anal plug, okay? Something like this that's going to stay inside of your rectum at a consistent time. It's not coming in and out generally. We can play with it that way. But sometimes we're just putting that in. You've used lube to put it in, but all that lube has been absorbed back up into our bodies, and on the pull out is where you're going to find a little bit of struggle, maybe, for some. So I suggest using a silicone lube for that reason. But if you're using silicone toys, of course, do we know we don't use silicone lube, but they're silicone toys. So keep that in mind. There's a lot to think about when it comes to our lubes. I work with a company called Pause, and they're over here at Pleasures and Treasures if anybody's interested. I don't think I have one right here, but they're solid base lubes, and you crack little pieces and stick them inside, whatever holes you want to stick them in, and they melt with your body temperature, and it's a really beautiful, creamy lube. And I love that because you can use it really well for anal play. There's Lindsay over there now showing you the little Pleasure Pause. You can go on over there and have a chat with them later. But that's a really great way to put that in there. Now, anal fisting is not going to be detrimental to anybody necessarily. But day one, we're not going to stick a fist in there if it's your first time. We say pinky before anything, right? Just try a pinky first. So you're going to do that, and then maybe you start doing a little, what you call anal training, and you can do that with many different things. Wait, there's my vulva mug. And there's some more butt plugs, and there's another little butt toy. And yes, I walk around with these things in my purse. Because you just never know when you need to break out a butt toy.
Imagine if someone robbed Serena.
What?
If someone robbed you.
Imagine
at home with a bunch
the
of
people in the airport, they absolutely love me. It's so fun. Oh, there it is. I want to find baby butt plug. Because I took out the big one and I saw some people go, oh. And I'm like, no, there's a baby butt plug too. So what we do is kind of called anal training to get to the place of fisting. When you start this, it starts to kind of loosen and soften that second sphincter on the inside. And then everything going in afterwards, your body starts to recognize that this is a safe place to be. So then maybe you will go to something a little bit progressively bigger. Okay, so we start out with a little part, and then we go progressively bigger and progressively bigger. We're still not near the size of a fist. Even if I have something the size of, generally above average, for the record, penis prop that I have in my hand, or a dildo the same size, it's still not as big as a fist. So you want to make sure you're doing incremental play before you do that. Once you get to the place of being able to get a fist in there, it's okay. It's a beautiful space to play, no matter what body you have. If you have a prostate, it's an amazing way to stimulate and massage that prostate. And if you don't have a prostate, maybe you have a clitoris, it's still, because everything is so deeply connected, you can stimulate inside the vaginal canal indirectly, as well as giving stimulation to your vagus nerve, which really calms our body. And nobody really It's about calming your body when you think about anal play. Some of us have had a really terrible experience for our first time with anal play, or maybe you just slipped in, right? And that's not a place that we really want to play anymore. So to answer the question, fisting is healthy and safe as long as it's done progressively. Use a lot of lube. My recommendation is silicone or something like a pleasure pause that's creamy or oil-based, but those won't be condom safe. So you need to have risk-aware sex. Not everything is going to be 100% safe, and you get to choose your level. So just make sure you know all the things that you need to know. Water-based is great as long as you use a lot and you don't let it dry it out. Okay? If you experience any pain, real pain, discomfort, stretching, pressure, these things are normal. But if it's pain, it has to stop. Do we ever use a numbing lube on our assholes? 0% chance we're using a numbing lube on our asshole. The pain is there to tell you that there's something happening that needs to stop. So if we numb that, then we increase the risk of, fissures and little cuts inside that can open, and the fecal matter can get in there, and you can get, bacterial infections and all kinds of things. So we're going to be really careful about that. I hope that helps. A happy fisting.
Let's give that for anal fisting, huh? Oh, that's coming from me. Checking in, does anyone in the audience have a question for Serena yet? You can keep going reading some, but just checking in, does anyone have a burning question? No? Not yet? Think about it, guys. Think about it. All right. Serena, you ready for the next one?
Ready.
Okay. So this is, sometimes my husband wants to go straight there. And that is not my best way to start. Do you have any gentle suggestions to change his approach?
Yes, but I'm not going to be a dick about it today. Okay. Yes, I do. All right. Sarah knows what I would say. What the fuck, yeah. Anyway, listen. Your partner probably wants to just get there, because depending on how long you've been together, that's probably the only sex that he knows. We are talking about a heterosexual couple in this, so you're going to hear a lot of he, she's, wives, husbands. So we're doing that, and that likely is the only way that he knows how to have sex, if I'm being completely honest. Maybe he wants something different, but he doesn't even know how to ask for it. Depending how long, I see this in clinic a lot, I see this a lot in long-term couples. So I'm going to make a lot of assumptions, which is tough when we have anonymous questions to kind of know exactly what's going on. But in my world, I see this come in a lot where man wants to go real fast and wife is like, holy crap. But then I have to say to her, or even anyone that has a clitoris, do you know what you want? Do you know exactly what you want to say? Because you can't just look at your partner and say, any partner, and just say, I don't want to go there, I need something else. Okay, well, what do you need? Well, I don't know, just slow down. Just slow down what? Well, I don't know, I just need you to touch me a little bit more. Touch me where? And here's the big one. I just need to feel more emotionally connected. God damn, what does that mean? Like, we're using all these words, and we know what they mean to us, right? But the comprehension of our partners on the other side is not always going to add up. So you need to find very specific ways to talk to your partner. In this conversation, in this question, they really are asking, like, in the moment, he wants to go there right away. Well, I think the gentlest way to do that would use affirming language, like, okay, that's like, let's say they put their hand down on your genitals and you're doing something, you're like, no, I'm not ready yet. You just say, baby, I love it when you kiss me like that. I really love it when you play with my breasts or my chest. I really love, you know what I would really love? Like, can you kiss my neck a little bit more? Now, with that said, these conversations are not happening in real time. Because you know what's going to happen in real time? We're making out, we're doing the thing, hand goes on my puss, and all of a sudden I go, no, and partner gets defenses up right away. Right? Like, what did I do wrong? What's happening? You go, well, I just don't want to go so fast. Well, what do you mean? And now, that's not really what we want to do. So Emily Morse has coined this phrase, and I love it so much. We use timing, tone, and turf to talk about the things that we want in the bedroom. So the timing is not in moment. right? Sometimes we talk about things in the moment and sometimes we don't. Tone is, how do you say that? Do you say to your partner, I don't want that, or that's not right, or I don't like that? Or can we say things like, I really love it when, I really loved when we did, your body feels great when we, and you finish those sentences with one another in the right turf, which is probably not at family dinner to talk about maybe wanting to do a little fisting, right? So the turf has to be neutral as well. Imagine your partner comes home from work, that you come home where everybody's stressed, something's happening, maybe there's kids, maybe the dogs are running around, the house falling apart, whatever's happening. And then you look at them and you go, oh yeah. In the midst of this chaos, can we just talk about how shitty you are in bed? Right, that's not gonna land, right? So you wanna make sure that the turf is very neutral. And not say language like that. You know, I really love it when we, and I'd like to try this more. All right. I have a really fun little game, and it's not mine. You can find it on the internet. It's, you know, we're not recreating the wheel, but a yes, no, maybe game is always really fun for things like that. If you want to start that conversation, it's just a list. You can get hundreds of these questions of like, yes, I would love to do that. No, I definitely don't. Or maybe we can try this. So if it's my partner wants to get there right away, how do I gently slow him down? It could be on Tuesday night, let's play this yes, no, maybe game, and I'm going to plant the seeds of all the little things that I love to do because I might be a little bit nervous saying it out loud. And now I get to say, we go through this checklist and I pretend, oh, damn, I didn't know that people peed on each other. That sounds fun. Wink, wink. No? And then you get to have that conversation in a different space. Okay? So gentle startup isn't always easy, but it can't really always happen in the bedroom. It has to happen outside. If it is going to happen in the bedroom, really gentle things like, let me go down on you first, or let me kiss your face again. I really loved it when you touched me here. So those are the biggest tips that I can give to get your partner to slow down. Give them the knowledge, right? Like sometimes our partners don't have that knowledge, and if you don't, you need to touch your body as well and find out what it is that you really love. Makes it easier to advocate for your own pleasure. When you don't know, and then somebody's doing something that you don't really love, you don't even know how to ask. So you want to make sure you know yourself.
Love that. Okay. Guys, what do you think? Any questions yet?
Yeah.
Any brave souls want to ask her any question? Abhishek? No?
I'm thinking.
Oh, you're thinking. Okay, we'll come back to you. Okay. On to the next one. Does anybody in here, I know I do, struggle with sex drive stuff? Am I the only one? Okay, I've got some nods. This is a very real thing. So this question is all about that. So in the past few years, sex has seemed to become less important to me. I know it's still important to my partner, and I would like to find my libido again. I am on HRT, and was hoping that this will help, but I'm not convinced it has. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I just want to preface this by, I know who wrote this question. So the HRT this person's talking about is a midlife woman, and she was struggling in perimenopause and menopause, and really felt terrible because she used to really want sex, and then all of a sudden she just felt like her desire died. Now I've got some fun information, and then some other information. When we get to midlife, if anybody here is in that midlife, 35 plus, okay, that's me. Spoiler, that's midlife. And unfortunately, by that time, we don't talk about it, but our hormones start dipping when we're in perimenopause and menopause. So if you are a person who has estrogen and progesterone in your body, by that time, these are coming down. Your estrogen is your give a fuck hormone. When your estrogen starts to decrease, you kind of stop giving a fuck. And you're like, no, you don't breathe like that in front of me. You don't get to eat chips that way. Shut the goddamn door. I'm not doing that. Anyway, you start to just stand up for yourself. You're like, what have I been doing my whole life? It's such an interesting, I'm in it. And I challenge you to ask yourself, did you really have it? Or were you just doing the sex because you were people pleasing? because in a lot of our relationships, sometimes that happens. So the idea is people with pussies, generally, we will talk about saying, like, it's not that we don't like sex, we don't like shitty sex. And in a lot of the years leading up to time, right, a lot of the years, we've been just having shitty sex, not for any reason, not because our partners are shitty, no. We don't do that here, but we just didn't have the knowledge of our own bodies even, and we were never given permission to advocate for our own pleasure, touch our bodies, own vibrators and all these things. I don't want to say they're new, but it's new. It's new to have all of this. And like, I'm 46 years old. When I was a teenager, we didn't talk about any of this. You had sex when you had sex, and you made sure you did your duty as a, in my heterosexual world, I had to do my duty sex and keep your marriage and do your thing. And there are terrible scripts that are given to us that are not necessarily coming from one person or another, but just society as a whole. So I challenge you to say to yourself, did you actually have high libido, or was your estrogen and progesterone helping you give a shit about your other person's feelings? I don't even say that sounds so terrible, but like to do it just because you thought you had to do it. All right, so that's A. B, yeah, it also is a thing. Maybe you did have really high desire. Maybe you did really have spontaneous desire and want to have sex. But now what we're transitioning into is responsive desire. So I want to reframe on it, okay? Let's try a reframe. There are things that I'm not going to be able to mitigate for you that is through your medical practitioner, your HRT, your hormones, and all of those things. There are some things mentally I can help you reframe. So maybe instead of saying things like, my libido is low, I've lost my desire, everything is gone. Now after today, you can shift that from, I used to have spontaneous desire, but now I am a responsive desire person. So what's that, Serena? Spontaneous desire is when you're just horny. You're horny, your body's horny, your head is horny. They're cohesive, and then you go and you do the fucking, and it feels great. Can I say all these bad words up here? I didn't ask.
So,
Okay, good. I got some applause. I'll run with it. I'll run with it until somebody cancels me. Okay, because I'm not the sailor. So that's what that is. It's like everything's cohesive and it's good. Responsive desire is when there's no cohesiveness. It could be one or the other. Some of us think it's just we think about sex, but we don't have the physicality to want to go do it. Or our bodies feel like, yeah, you know what, I really could get down tonight, but our brains don't let us do it because maybe of the mental load, maybe of the way that we think about sex, maybe some shame, whatever that is. All it means is that there's a lack of cohesiveness between brain and body. Okay? So if that is the case, you may be the partner now who once used to go to your partner and say, let's go do it, baby, I love it, or it's Saturday night, let's get wild, let's do the thing, to time and tone and turf, going to your partner and saying, I don't feel like myself, I don't know really what's going on, talking to the doctor, doing the thing, but I think that if you came to me a little bit, and maybe on Wednesdays was you an initiation day, and you came to me and said, you know what, I'd really like to make out with you for a little while, I think that would be really fun. Rather than the full on, let's have the sex, let's start making out. Let's get my body warmed up, and then maybe my head will kind of come into the party. Maybe if we're making out, my head isn't the party, but I need a minute for my body to warm up and remember that, you know what, shit, I really do like sex. Like, this is really fun. I am kind of alive. I do like this. There are little places I can find pleasure and do those things. So I have a little thing that I like to tell couples when they come in, and it's called the 5-minute method. This is a very consensual, this is so important. This is a conversation you've already had with an established partner or a casual one, but generally an established partnership, where you say, we're going to implement the 5-minute method. This is what it is. This is how we do it, so that when your partner comes to you, you'll know what I mean when I explain it. Let's say I have low desire and I'm cooking supper and I'm doing the thing and sex is not on my mind and I'm like, whatever. And my partner comes up, because I'm in a heterosexual relationship. My partner comes up to me and gives me one of those slaps on the ass or rolls his hands around my belly and starts to nuzzle me, and I'm like, come in. Get away. I'm doing something. My partner has permission in that moment to say, just give me 5 minutes. And that's my indicator. It's a little mental reframe, or I have to go, okay, this is my partner coming to me, telling me they love me, telling me they want me, they find me desirable. I need to now reciprocate this a little bit. and see what happens. See what I mean by the consent? It's important to understand that this is established already. You're not getting forced into doing anything you don't want to. There's a moment where you're like, no, go away. Give yourself that minute. Then you just make out wherever you are. It could be by the stove, it could be wherever, there's clothes on, everything. Make out, kiss the neck, love the things, smell their skin, let them smell yours, rub your body, anything. Something kind of PG, right? Just a little bit of PG. Give your body a second, or your brain a second to shut off, or your body a second to wake up. Recognize it, acknowledge it, and then be like, okay, we have a timer on our microwave. You just press the 5-minute timer, and then we do it. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, 5 minutes not even up. Let's go upstairs. Let's do this now. Sometimes the timer goes off, and we look at each other, and I go, yes, still no, not today. But then both of us know that there is something, like I'm busy, or there's something going on, or maybe it's not going to work today. So it's just a little reframe, a little mind game that you can play with yourself to help yourself get back in the mood. When it comes to hormones, there's not a heck of a lot that we can do up here on stage. That's something that you need to talk to your medical practitioner about, but we can do lots of things to increase our sexual idol to help us want to continue to do the things that we used to do. Is it a bath? Is it a lube? Is it, if you do have a pussy, is it dry? Is it, irritated? Are you losing, some sensation down there? All of those things happen during midlife, and it's unfortunate, but it doesn't happen to people with penises too. We don't talk about that enough, but it really does. So get yourself a really nice lube, get yourself a vaginal moisturizer. You could even try some vaginal estrogen if that's something that you need a doctor to talk about. And it just helps bring the blood flow back to the area that maybe starts getting a bit more juicy. I hope that helps and answers the question, because I feel like I went off on a tangent.
I love the 5-minute method. You need to pack it up. Yeah, it's yours. We only have a little bit of time left, guys. But we have a little bit of a game we hopefully want to challenge more.
Okay,
So.
I do have a little challenge, but we have a very quiet audience, so I'm not sure how it's going to go down. We may have to pivot. I have a little prize here. We have some Epiphany Clit Arousal Oil. Did you see me do this? That's how you knew I was midlife. And my glasses are right there. I'm walking around with my head all weekend. Clit Arousal Gel from Epiphany. It's a woman-owned company in Toronto. This is a fantastic gel. You just kind of put it on your clitoris and just let it do its work. I think she said instead of using menthol, we just use extracts. We can look at the ingredients on there. And then as well, we have this Nova toy that, and pronounce it for me. Anya, you think?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, oh yeah, I hear. For Pleasures and Treasures, a beautiful toy. Okay, one thing I want to talk about when it comes to toys, so just real quickly before we move forward, is that we, a lot of the time, I find, again, I live in quite a heterosexual world, and people think that toys are gendered, and they're not. And I love these toys. They have this sucker on the end, which can work really well on the tip of your penis, or a ball sack, or a perineum, or a butt. They have a vibrating part as well that works on all of your body parts as well, and you can also use the nipples. So whenever you're looking at toys, anywhere at all, make sure that you understand that just because it's in a beautiful packaging and I love it, looks really super pretty, it doesn't mean that it's for one or the other. Most toys can be for all bodies, okay? So we have this toy as well and this Epiphany. Now, the challenge is, since I am such a TMI kind of person on the stage, and everybody now, what do I really love? Doggy. What do I also really love? DJ booth. We had people touching my clit earlier. Not my real one, just my little one. That's fine. And, I talk about all these things. So my challenge is going to be, does anybody want to get on the mic and tell us a TMI story? Either a confession, something they love, a story that they've heard, even a wild thing that they've been imagining, a fantasy. I see it again. I see it.
Oh, yeah, guys.
First hand, winner.
Yeah.
Hi there. I thought I'd just share a really funny story. So I'm someone who I do struggle to orgasm and often have to be in a specific headspace. And one time my ex had been edging me or doing play around that and orgasm control. And she got to the point where it's oh yeah, you can come now. And I was just no, I really can't get there. And then I was trying. At one point I was okay, we're done. And we were about to back off in 2 seconds. So we was oh wait, never mind. And came in the moment and we just laugh so hard about that because it's just a comedy of the moment of like, I'm done. Wait, never mind, we're not. So that's my little story.
I love that. That is so funny, right? Because you think you're done, everyone thinks you're done, and then it's just this like spontaneous, like, oh wait, it's coming. Oh wait, my dear. That is so fun. You get to win. You get to win. You get to pick. Do you want the epiphany or do you want the toy? The toy. Okay. I saw your hand come up. If you want to share, you can share as well. Yeah, another one. Sure. We used the lube pod last night. I forget the name. The pleasure pod. The pleasure pod. You use the pleasure pod. That's the best thing ever. Amazing. TMI. If you use a bigger piece, it feels really good being inserted. Amazing lube. Yes. And then afterward, my husband was slipping on the floor, so we laughed for about 10 minutes, and I thought we would wake up whoever was sleeping in the hotel room beside us. Oh, God, that's amazing. Hey, we're sending that to Pleasure Pod.
We're sending that to them. That's amazing.
Permission. Thank you. I love that. Pleasure Pod's over here, by the way. Pleasures and Treasures, our show sponsor. You can head over there and get your Pleasure Pods if you like. Okay? So that's fantastic. This is yours. I'll lay it up here for you. When you're ready, you can come on up and grab that. Thank you so much.
Round of applause for our great audience members sharing.
It takes a lot to share things like that. And I know that, the Atlantic Sex Show has created such a beautiful, safe space for all of us to share these things that it gives me, a big outlet to share all the things that I have to say. And in my workshops, the same thing as well. So I think on behalf of Sarah and I, we just want to say thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening and being part of the Intimacy Unlocked podcast. This is our season finale for our very first season ever. We're so excited. And we hope to get your questions to come on in next time.
Did it for you guys. You just did it fast. Have a great Instagram. Show.
Now, I do have one more note from Britt. She kind of put me on the clock and wanted me to let you know to please come to the aftercare party. I know she mentioned it already, but to just give another little shout out to the fact that the sex show is offering that space for people, which I think is great because post-show drop is a real thing, whether you're a participant, a vendor, or a performer. So go and have a really great evening. Thank you so much. Follow Intimacy Unlocked and SerenaHaines.com for any of your everything to do with sex expertise.
Thank you, guys.
Sorry. Later. Thank you for listening to the Intimacy Unlocked podcast, where I'm unlocking your pleasure one question at a time. The key is already in your hands. Are you ready to turn it? Intimacy Unlocked is hosted by me, Serena Haines, your everything to do with sex coach. Produced by Sarah MacLellan and supported by the Pleasure Pods.